So this is your application funnel tracker. It's just going to make it easier to stay organized with all of the things to get this set up. The beautiful part about this is that the majority of these things will become templates, especially if you have an all-in-one systems, whether you are using Go High Level or you have a white label version of it. It's just literally so much easier. So there isn't a specific tech because everyone is coming in with something different, but most of you are using some iteration of Go High Level, which is fantastic. So let's just break down the application funnel workflow. So if you have questions about how this funnel actually works, here is a big picture overview. And the cool part about this is, again, you will be able to create a template from all of this. So you'll be able to like duplicate the whole funnel assets and you just swap out the information for another program. And you can spend your time just pushing people through this funnel, optimizing this funnel. But the beautiful part is that you will literally see the points in which there is a bottleneck. You'll be able to actually see the people that are coming in. You will be able to actually troubleshoot and optimize with real data, real numbers, and the real people. Because with some funnels, you're not able to actually see the people. So you kind of have to make some estimates with just the data. And then with content, right? You never really know exactly what piece of content moves the needle. So here you're going to know what moves the needle. And again, it's going to inform so many of your other things, because if you figure out, oh, this is one of the reasons why people buy, right? Like, let's say you do your onboarding, and in part of the onboarding is what I like to include is a why did you buy survey, and specific questions so that I can know what was the thing that I said, or what was the thing that was said that got you to buy, because then I can start to add those specific things into my content strategy, right? Same thing. Why didn't they buy? And you're like, oh, okay. If it comes down to just the fact that it's timing, then we talked about this. There's some situations where people don't buy. It's perfect because you cannot control someone's timing. They literally could have just bought something else. So they just have to wait because it's like, I can't do two things at once. Or it's just like, I just have to wait till I have the resources for it, which is, again, nothing you can control. So the way this application funnel works is that someone comes in, whatever the traffic source is, and generally we're going to be focusing on them coming to DMs. It doesn't have to exactly be this way. It could be where people, if you're sending it to your email list, they just go straight into the link, but we're just going to add the whole funnel. So they come into the opt-in page, they get tagged, the lead magnet emails will fire off, and then if you have the tiny offer, this is optional, something that we discussed, and it goes there. After the tiny offer, it goes to the training one with the application call to action on the bottom. So the application call to action, they will go straight to the application page. They'll fill out the form, they'll get tagged, and then when submitted, they'll go to the thank you page. And when this fires off and they're tagged, it'll turn off the lead magnet nurture, just in case when they apply, it's like you don't want to keep sending that to them if they apply. Because the whole point of this series is to get them to apply, because you can see that the whole point of the funnel is always to move them to the final destination, which is a purchase. Now, sometimes they just go straight to the DMs. And so you may then send in the application to come back to the DMs, who knows, but I will actually take that out because we want them to come to the application, come to the DM. Now, if you look at their application and they're just like, oh, this is not necessarily a good fit, then you can downsell them into some of your other offers if you have that option. The application email will automatically fire off, which basically just tells them, hey, we are going to review your application, and be sure to make sure you look at message requests if you're not already following us on Instagram, because we're going to be sending you a DM to let you know if we can actually help you. Because if you can't help them, you can send the other options. If you can help them, then you'll follow the protocol for sending the training 2 with the voice note. Then they watch training 2. Okay. And then training 2 has a sales pitch with the enrollment call to action. The enrollment call to action is just a button to DM you again to get the enrollment link. We don't just want to send them the sales page because, again, this is like $3,500. This is $4,000, $4,500. You want to have some sort of concierge experience. You want to actually show these people that you care, and that if you really are a good fit, like, you have time to literally send them a 1-minute voice note. Like, it's not that hard. You know what I mean? It's so much easier because you could have 20, 30 people in your DMs that you're sending random voice notes throughout the week versus 20, 30 hours of phone calls, right? And so it's just better than just sending them the link, because then you can kind of have a little blurb like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Like, yes, here's the enrollment link. If you have any questions, boom, let me know. And then the enrollment link should move them to the sales page, and you'll follow the DM protocol when you get to this section. Then the enrollment link will move them to the sales page. And then they can actually see it. The sales page will tag them. If they move to the abandoned cart, and then a cart will turn off. If they purchase, hopefully they purchase. They go to thank you page, they go to onboarding. If they finish the funnel and they do not buy, but they are a good fit, then you can repitch the a Loom audit that repitches to the offer, or you move them to your general newsletter because, you know, again, it's just not the right time. Okay. And I'd like to do again, I do like to do a why didn't you buy survey. I do like to do a why did you buy survey. That is something that we will talk about later. But this is all leverage. This is all data. This is all informing then your creative juices, because then now your creative juices actually have more potency. So this is kind of like the workflow that you've been following. This is like the messaging documents. You probably did not go through onboarding doc if you jumped in at a later time, but you went through the onboarding doc, your offer marketing angle, your offer messaging doc, your buyer doc. So that's just really getting all the information ready for the funnel. Then creating your actual lead magnets, which is training 1 and training 2, which we work on together. And then we'll have that funnel strategy session to say, hey, are we maximizing this funnel as best as we can? Do we make sure we have continuity in there, upsells, downsells, whatever we can to maximize this cart value, but not take away from the group coaching program. But also just what is your strategy there in general? And then you'll actually build out your funnel assets, and you'll have the links to that, and then your funnel page. And I'll include also too all the links to the workbooks in here as well. Once I'm done with this. And then you have all your pages, then you have all your email automations. And then whatever your system is, then you'll have the custom workflow for your application management. You'll have your ManyChat automations, and you have your sales script. And then additional assets that you will have is enrollment options, contracts if available, if it's applicable to you, and you can use automation to send that out. Terms and condition, privacy policy, earnings disclaimer. If you don't have them and you need some updated contracts, then you can use Coaches and Company. They're amazing, and they focus specifically on course creators and coaches. And then after that, we will do your funnel review, which is basically connecting all of your funnel assets. Then we need to go through just the entire funnel from a consumer perspective and just make it fun with branding. Do all your technical tagging stuff, put your Facebook pixels on, onboarding funnel if you want to do that. And then we're going to test it before launch. Then you'll have a custom traffic strategy, content strategy, and then you will have your KPI documents and protocols. So how do we actually troubleshoot and optimize once we see the bottlenecks in each part of this funnel? So this is, to me, really just such a brilliant strategy, because this is something that you literally set up once, and then you spend your time optimizing and troubleshooting, right? But you get as much data. You get the market research that you actually need. And then again, it'll inform your launches. It'll inform your organic content. It'll just make everything else that you're already doing so much better. Doesn't take away from any of it. It's just that you have to learn how to set this up once and go through that process. And again, if you're not used to condensing your messaging into a singular event, that is probably the part where you're just like, what the heck? Okay. So that is it. Again, I will link the workbooks in here too. So, well, training 1, yeah, just training 2. And let me see. Yes, and then the why did you buy surveys. I will link that in here as well. I'll say additional assets if that's something you feel like you want to add. I love them. So, okay. Let me see. I think that is it for the overview of how this application funnel works for your signature group coaching program. And as always, if you have any questions, let me know.